Oh, all right. Let's get moving. Love you too, son. Mm. All right, let's get going. Good evening, everybody. I'm on time. I'm excited to be on time. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. It's a lot going on. I've been looking for you all week. I've been looking for y'all. I appreciate that. It's a lot going on tonight. I ain't gonna even lie. I got the debate on my iPad. I'm already laughing. I'm laughing at everybody, both of them. It's a lot going on, a lot of things happening tonight. So I appreciate you all tuning in tonight. Um, I got a tough one tonight. I got a tough one, and I think it's going to be helpful. And I'm excited to be here. So let me get my notes together because I don't want to waste a lot of time. I got a flight to catch, and excited about getting some downtime. So, yeah, the debate's on. I don't know. They just started. Joe Biden walked out and started talking, and I didn't understand a word he said, literally. And I don't mean in terms of his information. I mean he was mumbling so bad. And then Trump came out. While he was mumbling, Trump started doing his lip like. And all I could see was a Saturday Night Live parody. Trump up there like this. The kissy face. Oh man, I'm already in tears. So yeah, I don't know what's happening. Yeah, he looks like he's old, man. He really does. And I hate that. I don't know. Anyway, y'all not going. I can tell tonight's gonna be a riot. Um, City, state, or country. Let me know where you're from tonight. City, state, country. Put it in there, and then I want you to share the video. I need you to do three things. Put in the chat your city, state, or country that you're tuned in from. If you're not from America, and then I need you to hit the like button, and I need you to hit the share button. All right, do that for me now. Thank you so much. Come on, let's see it. Jamaica, first one I saw. What's up, Jamaica? Hope to be there soon. Good. Carson, California, Chicago. All right. Nashville, Philly. Good. Let's go. Y'all know the drill. Newman, Georgia. I know we got a lot of things going on tonight, but we're going to do our thing tonight like we always do. I wanted to be consistent. July is going to be a very iffy month for me with traveling. Hey, Keish. Appreciate you. One of my awesome moderators, and she's just so consistent, and I really appreciate you. Yeah, it's a lot going on. If I'm being honest, and I don't want to make this political, I don't know if I like either candidate. If I'm just being frank with you, I don't think I like neither one of them. But anyway, city, state, country, where you tuned in from? Good. Birmingham, Chicago, Kennesaw, Poinciana. All right. I hope I said that right. Thank you. Like the video, share the video quickly. Good. Good. Come on. Arlington, Texas, Blytheville, Arkansas. North Carolina, thank you so much. Texas, St. Louis, Sacramento, Fredericksburg, Stockbridge, Chicago, Canada. All right, Fredericksburg again. Alameda, Mississippi, Canada, Houston, Mississippi, Covington, Topeka, New York City, Fayetteville, Murfreesboro, Vegas. All right, come on, TikTok, jump on in, like the video, share the video. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Chapel Hill in Montego Bay. Must be nice. I'm jealous. All right. Come on. Where you tuned in from? Let me get my notes while y'all are doing it. I want to shout you if I see it. St. Louis. All right. A lot going on in St. Louis tonight. Texas, the Bahamas, Detroit, New Jersey, Virginia, Houston, Connecticut, Terrell, Texas, South Africa. Thank you. The Philippines. All right. Pennsylvania. Conyers, Georgia, Houston again, Inglewood, Houston again, New York City. All right. All right, Houston. Thank y'all for showing so much love. I appreciate it. City, state, country, drop it in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the share button. I need you to do that for me tonight. I really would appreciate it. Let me get my notes while I'm running my mouth because I want to jump right in. Montana, South Carolina. Good. This is going to be so good tonight. And I'm excited to be with you. Y'all, I'm on time tonight. Can y'all believe it? Vegas again. All right. Vegas, good Lord. Vegas is heavy. That's Vegas 3 times. Inglewood. Giselle, will you hand me my glasses on the top? What's wrong? What you need? Huh? Okay. Um, Inglewood. Da-da, 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 da-da. Thank you. Oh yeah, I don't, TikTok don't like me. They cut me off if they see Indiana. All right. Thank you so much. Good. Thank you. All right. Texas, Rosedale, Maryland, Charleston. Hey, April. Really appreciate you. Another one of our awesome moderators tonight. Houston, Georgia, Corona. All right, let's get ready to get into it. I want you to like and share the video. Again, it's a lot of events going on tonight. The debate, I didn't even remember the debate was happening. I don't know if it was debate was worth me canceling this live. But I press record. I'll probably watch it and fall asleep watching it tonight sometime at some point. I haven't packed a thing and I got to get ready to catch a flight in the morning. So I'll probably just let it play while I fall asleep and laugh. But I am appreciative appreciative of all of you for tuning in. Do me a favor, like the video. I would love if we get up to 700 people tonight. I think that would be great. Zimbabwe, thank you. Dallas, all right. Baltimore, Cleveland, Austin, Texas. Thank y'all for the love. Houston, this is great. Yeah, so like the video, share the video. Again, a lot going on, but we want to get into set rounds real quick. This is especially important for those of you if this is your first time tuning in. If this is your first time joining the live, thank you so much. I appreciate you if this is your first time. And this is going to be good tonight. This is going to be good. All right. So let's do this. A number of things. Number one, make sure you like the video, share the video. I'll do some announcements at the end. Support the show. If I say something that makes sense, I want you to type church in the comments with as many R's as possible. And that certainly continues to support the work that we do here. Also, you can support the show. Cash App, $Zep the Third, or what is it, Zelle at info@zebthethird.com, and our moderators will put that up as well. You may see a salad icon on the screen, and that just simply means people donate towards buying me a lunch, specifically a salad. So if I say something that resonates with you or that is a help to you, I would certainly appreciate you supporting the show. Last but certainly not least, I have a zero tolerance policy for bullies. I know what it's like to be bullied young, and I have a zero tolerance policy for that. So every now and then we get birds that jump into the chat area. So in the event that you see birds or people with derogatory comments in the chat area, if our moderators don't get them first because they're fast, you might see a couple of eagles flying across your screen. And those eagles simply mean we fly high like eagles and not low like birds. And so if you see anything just derogatory, out of the way, disrespectful, don't entertain it. Just fly above it. And just drop some birds in the chat, and our moderators will take it from there. All right. So good to see you tonight. And again, I know it's a lot going on, but this is going to be an incredible live. And the people that tune in are going to be glad they did. Put in the topic area tonight's topic, but it was okay when you did it. And that's a question. Put in the topic area, but it was, or in the chat, but it was okay when you did it. Grab your journal. You're going to need it. Tonight's going to be good. I want to deal with this because this is going to really deal with how to be the bigger person. And I want to say this from the start. This conversation is not going to make sense for tit for tat, make sense with tit for tat people. I knew I was healing when I just didn't have time to go tit for tat with people. I'd rather just fall completely back or disappear. You know, some of you, your response in adversity or disagreement is absolutely a sign of your maturity or lack thereof. And you certainly grow to a place where you don't feel the need to respond to everything, including what people do to you, not just what people say, but including what people do to you. And so I want to deal with being the bigger person. All right. That's in essence what we're going to deal with tonight. All right. And so, Inspire Nation, get your journal. Let's get ready to go to work. All right. I did a video Tuesday. I did a video Tuesday, 10-minute video where I talked about a client situation where a client came to me and asked, Doc, how much time should I give my partner? How much time should I give my partner to make some corrections in their lives that impact the relationship? And I gave 3 points. And I want to start with those 3 points tonight because it really actually is relevant to what we're going to talk about. Hey, Tiff, I'm early. Yes, I'm early. Good to see you. Tiff moderates for us on YouTube. I appreciate you. Um, so that video on Tuesday talked about 3 things that all of us should evaluate when we are dealing with people who want more time to get their lives together, particularly people that are connected to us. Because I get the question a lot, how long should I give someone to fix their life? If I'm in a relationship or connected to someone, how long should I give them to fix their life, fix the challenges that we have, etc.? And while those 3 points were very much relevant to that video and that conversation, those 3 points are also relevant to tonight. All right. Because at the end of the day, being the bigger person really boils down to 3 things. Okay. I want you to record this. Being the bigger person boils down to 3 things. Okay. Number 1, record it. Put it in the chat. Put it in your journal. You're going to be the smartest person at the water cooler all week. Number 1, self-awareness. Self-awareness. What's self-awareness? You tuned in before. You should know this definition by heart. Self-awareness, honesty about who you are, where you are, what you're doing. So the reality is, when you're dealing with someone in the context of needing to be the bigger person, you also have to be self-aware in order to be the bigger person. Because typically, when a person you're dealing with is being small, they're normally not operating in what? Self-awareness. It's important, right? And 99% of the time, when a person is acting small and you have to be the bigger person, that person has not been operating from a space of honesty. Because it's hard to be honest with you and small at the same time. It's hard to show up in spaces small when you've been truly honest with you about who you are, where you are, and what you're doing. So self-awareness is critical. Right? So people who show up small typically are not operating in self-awareness. And so if you're going to deal with someone who is acting small, you have to have self-awareness in order to counter their lack of self-awareness. Okay? This is going to be good tonight. All right? So self-awareness, it encourages honesty. Number 2, communication. Communication. What I'm seeing in this space is that there is really nothing more challenging than attempting to communicate with someone who is being petty, simple, immature. And I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes the best response to someone who is operating in immaturity is no response at all. Y'all, we have to learn how to communicate on our pay grade. You gotta learn how to communicate on your pay grade. At the risk of being called too much, stuck up, unapproachable, difficult to deal with, whatever they want to call you. You've got to learn how to communicate on your pay grade, i.e., level. Because I'll tell you what happens. When you're dealing with someone that you have to be the bigger person toward, and they're operating in simpleness and immaturity, when you attempt to communicate down to where they are, you become like they are. Sometimes it is better for you not to say anything at all. Now I get it. Oh my God, Doc, you think you're better than everybody else. I've explained this a million times. Some of y'all not gonna like this because some of you think everybody's the same. I don't. We ain't the same because we ain't doing all doing the same work. How you showing up broken and not healed, and I'm healed, and you think we the same? How? So we're not the same. You can take that to the equal opportunity channel. That's not it. Mm-mm. I don't communicate with people who are incapable of understanding or wanting to understand. That's important because some people can't understand because they can't, but they want to understand. I don't make it I don't make it my business to communicate with people who don't want to understand. And y'all can take it whatever way you want. I don't think I'm better. I know I am better than a whole lot of people, especially broken, unhealed people. Yes, put me at the front of the line. That hurts you. And if that offends you, heal. And that's the problem with us. Many of you in this space are struggling with healing because you are attempting to communicate with people who simply just aren't on your level. Going back and forth, arguing with people, disagreeing with folks who are either not healed or don't even desire to really be healed. And I can tell you this, communication is supposed to create clarity. You ready? If communication is supposed to create clarity, then communication becomes effective when people are willing to receive. Communication only works when two people are willing to what? Or multiple people. It doesn't have to be just between two people. Communication only works when the people involved are willing to receive. I want you to record this now because many of you need a lesson in communication. Communication is an exercise in receiving. Would you record that? Yeah, it creates clarity. I talked about that in the video. But it is also an exercise in receiving. So when two people are effective communicators, they make it their goal to receive more than they give. You know why many of you are struggling to communicate with people who are being petty, who are flying low, far beneath where you are on your journey? It's because you're dealing with someone who doesn't want to receive. And when two people attempt to engage with one another, neither one of them want to receive, you're going to have tension. Okay? So again, effective communication is an exchange of receiving. Okay? This is important. Which leads me to number 3. That when communication is effective and it brings about clarity, then communication ultimately leads to something called actions. That when I've been honest, I've received, I'm now positioned to do something. I'm positioned to do something. Now, I want to say this about doing something, and I don't want to spend a lot of time here because I want to get right into the nuts and bolts of what this is about. All right. I want to get right into the nuts and the bolts of what this is about. Well, let me say something quickly about actions. Sometimes, y'all, no action is the action. Will you record that? We're talking about being the bigger person. It's okay when you did it. Question mark. I'm going to explain. It's going to make sense. But sometimes, y'all, the action is no action at all. And here's the problem. We live in a time where all of you think you have to have a response to everything. No. You don't have to respond to everything. You don't have to respond to everything. You don't have to reply to everything. You don't have to answer everything. You don't owe nobody. You don't owe everybody explanations. No, you have to live an absolute unbothered life when it comes to how you communicate and what you choose to do and don't do. Sometimes no action is the action. I remember when I managed teams and people on my team, things were happening in the department, especially my last one of my next to last role. Things were happening in the department. It was just crazy stuff going on all the time. And people would be like, Doc, some people on the team be like, Doc, you ain't got no response? No, I don't. And you're like, you sure you don't have nothing to say? Well, yeah, I do. I got a response. Then what is it? I just gave it. What was that? I don't have no response. The level that we have to grow on when it comes to how we respond to people's behavior. This is where we're going. The level we have to grow on when it comes to responding to people's behavior is understanding that sometimes the response is no response. And this is why this is going to require a greater level of thinking tonight. Okay? A greater level of thinking. You don't have to respond to everything. You don't have to give an action or a reaction to every action. Some stuff is better left unsaid. Some stuff better left undone. You know who struggles with people? You know who struggles with actions when it comes to responding to people's behavior? You know who struggles for real with having to have an action? Y'all, I'm about to stop because I ain't nobody sent a salad yet, but this is about to be salad worthy. You want to know who struggles with this? People who need closure. Let me talk for about 2 minutes to all of you people who need closure. Closure is overrated. Put it in the comments. Closure is overrated. I had a client tell me this week, I finally felt a sense of relief when my partner apologized to me. And I said, why didn't you have relief before they did? Closure is overrated. And closure is for the unhealed. And I'm talking about the closure specifically that comes from other people. Because anytime we are relying on closure from a source external to us, our ability to move on from what happened to us will be contingent on somebody doing us a favor. And this is what makes closure overrated. Particularly closure that has to come from a source external to you. Yes, that was salad worthy, Bianca, no doubt. Y'all support the show. Are y'all listening to me? Closure's overrated if it's going to come from other people. Thank you, Teresa, for the salad. First one. No, you don't need an apology to move on. You don't need an apology to feel better about what folks did. Create your own apology. You don't need an explanation for you to be able to move on from what folks did. Create your own explanation and move on. I had to explain this. Y'all have heard me explain this before on this live. I had to explain this to my client this week who had a nice wig on. Nice lace front wig. And I said, ma'am, when you bought that nice lace front wig, did it come with a closure? She said, sir. I said, did your wig come with a closure? She said, no. I said, how did you get the front of it to close? She said, I had to create it. You take the little part that's flat down at the front and you lay it on your head, and then you connect that part with your edges if you got some, and you make that work. It don't come with that. The closure ain't included. So y'all, let me ask you this. When people offend you, why do you think closure should be included in the offense? I feel like I'm talking over y'all's heads tonight. This making sense? When people offend you, why do you think closure should come with the offense? Doesn't. It doesn't. What do I know about closures? I've been around women a few times. I know what a closure is. My mom's also a licensed beautician, though she doesn't do a lot of hair anymore. All right. Is this making sense? So maturity, y'all. The next level says you don't need anybody to close a chapter. Right? I've never seen a person read a book, and when it's time for them to go to the next chapter, they pass the book to someone else and say, hey, turn the page for me. Doesn't work that way. When you're reading your book, and your book is your life, your book is symbolic of your life. If your book that you're reading is symbolic of your life, the only person who turns the chapter is who? You. This is for all of you that waiting on apologies and can't sleep at night until somebody says, I'm sorry, or explains. Go to sleep. And I mean, do what I do, snore. They tell me I snore. Don't work hard. I probably do. Snore. Are y'all listening? Hey, Jesse. Client. So let's talk about this then. This idea of being the bigger person really boils down to how we respond to behavior. This is where it's going to get good. Y'all, hey, like the video. Let's get these numbers up. We're right around, we're right around 304. We're right around 420. Let's get this number up to 700. This is not bad with everything that's going on. We're right around 420. Let's get the number up to 700. I want you to like the video, share the video. Quickly, TikTok especially, like the video. Let's get that like up to 100,000. There's still shadow banning me there. It's all good. All right, come on, like the video. Let's go, y'all. This notion about being, I'm a slow cook. Good here. I'll be in North Carolina tomorrow. No way, Shahara. I'm leaving North Carolina tomorrow. I can't believe that. That's crazy. I hate that. I'm gonna be gone. This being the bigger person all boils down to how we respond to people's behavior. Okay, this is what this boils down to. Hey, TikTok, I need y'all to like this video. It's 140 of y'all. How do I do it? Tap the screen. We got 14,000 likes. Let's get that up to 40,000 real quick. Go. Come on. I'm shadow banned on TikTok. I need y'all to help me. Go. Come on. This boils down to how we respond to people's behavior. And here's a conclusion we got to make about behavior. I want you to record this. Put this in your journal. Put it in the notes. Put it in the chat. You're going to be the smartest person at the water cooler this week or tomorrow. Record it. This is the conclusion we have to make about behavior. You ready? How a person acts is a reflection of who and where they are. Record it. How a person acts is always a reflection of who and where they are. There are no exceptions. How a person acts, their behavior, is a reflection of who and where they are, which means It is a reflection at their core of their self awareness, whether they have realized it or not. When a person acts, how they behave is always a reflection of who and where they are. So when someone does something and we have to be the bigger person, instead of returning the favor, which I'll get to that a little bit later, you have to realize that when you return the favor, you're not acting like you're reflecting who someone else is. The only time you're really acting like you is if at your core, when you respond to someone the way they have handled you in the same way, the only way that's different is if at your core you're just like them. Which leads me to something that's going to shake all of you. You ready? It is my belief that a person really doesn't act out of character. I want you to put that in the chat, and I want you to type the word levels. Because what I'm about to say is going to shake you. I don't believe a person acts out of character. I used to. I don't. Not since my healing journey and doing this work. I don't believe people act out of character. It's going to take a bigger brain for you to embrace what I'm about to say. You ready? The reason why I don't believe a person ever acts out of character is because what's inside of you eventually always does two things. Uh-oh. 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 What's inside of you always eventually does two things. Number one, what's inside of you comes out of you. I don't believe a person acts out of character because eventually what's inside of you eventually is either number one, going to come out of you. So when a person cheats, you're not acting out of character, you're acting in character. That is what's inside of you. I only did it one time. So are we to say that if a person only cheats once, that they act out of character because they only did it one time? No. I say the response is somewhere inside of them was a seed planted called, hey, go cheat. Now, where that seed came from, I have no idea. Why don't I see no churches and salads? Y'all quiet now. What's up with that? This is making sense? What's in you comes out of you. Watch. And when it comes out of you, everybody sees it. Let me give you an analogy to make this make sense before I give you number two. Because I'm not sure this is making sense. So let me say it a different way. Let's think the digestion process. You eat food, the food goes in your mouth, through your esophagus, down your throat, through your esophagus to your stomach. Watch. I know y'all not gonna like it. Everybody not. There are levels to this. I don't expect everybody to agree with me. This is not the agree with me channel. But listen to me. There are levels. You eat something and consume something, it then goes in you. What happens to what goes inside of you? Eventually, one of two things. The same thing that happens when I say what's in you typically does two things. Number one, it comes out of you. It comes out. Your body rejects it. And it can come out of many ways. It can come out through the bathroom, which means you digest it. It comes out as waste. But if it comes out as waste, we see it, which means when you act in character by doing something you claim was something out of character, but when you do it and we see it, it has come out of you. Something comes out of you, we all have to see it. So you can't say you're acting out of character because if it came out of you, it belonged to you. I don't know if this is a lot. Maybe I'm not explaining this good. If it comes out of you, at one point, it belonged to who? To you. Okay. So it can come out as waste. You could reflux it out. It could come out as vomit as well. So it can come back out of your mouth, whatever, or it can come out as waste. But what's in you is going to do two things. Like the digestion process. One, it's going to come out of you and we all going to see it. Or number two, this is big. What your body does not excrete as waste, your body will process it and it becomes a part of who you are, meaning you absorb it. And when you absorb it, it's going to manifest one of two ways. Chelsea, get out of my notes. It's going to manifest one or two ways. Number one, as muscle, which means when you absorb good things, it creates good things. That's why you got to be careful what you eat and what you entertain. You got to be careful what you eat and what you entertain. Because if you entertain the right stuff and you absorb it and digest it, it becomes muscle. And if you entertain something that's bad for you and you absorb it, it becomes fat. Which means we can't physically with our eyes see it, but because it becomes a part of who you are, you become a visual representation of what's inside of you. I feel like this is going way over y'all's head. I appreciate you, Bianca B. This is going way over heads. If you digest something and absorb it, it either turns to muscle or fat. Does this make sense? And when it becomes a part of us, watch this. Others see it. We become it. Others see it. And if there's no self-awareness, we don't even realize it. I'm going to say that again. When what is inside of us becomes a part of us, we become it. Others see it. And if there is no self-awareness, we don't even realize it. You ever seen somebody be on hamburger number 10 and they don't have the self-awareness to realize they shouldn't go to 11? You ever seen somebody entertain a relationship that is just not productive, but they don't have the awareness to stop entertaining it? That's what happens when things become a part of us. When we digest things that become a part of us, then what we entertain becomes a part of us. It's a really good question on Facebook. I see it. So then how do we see it, or how do we suppress it? Or do we suppress it? No, we don't depress it, suppress it. We see it through self-awareness. Honesty, right? We said that at the beginning. We see it through self-awareness, honesty about who we are, where we are, what we're doing, which means constantly we should be evaluating ourselves over and over and over again, consistently. But in the context of what we're talking about tonight, but it was okay when you did it, meaning how do we control not responding to people's behavior and being the bigger person? In the context of that, here's the problem. When people don't have self-awareness, they can't see it because they're not even looking for it. You ready? Y'all, there is absolutely nothing more tragic than a dysfunctional person that can't see their dysfunction. Will y'all write that down? There is absolutely nothing more tragic than a dysfunctional person who can't see their own dysfunction. So many of you are responding to the behaviors of people who don't even really realize they're doing anything wrong. You're responding to the behaviors of people who don't even really realize they're in the wrong. And here you are taking everything they do so personal. No, 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 no. Nothing more dysfunctional than a person who can't see their own dysfunction. But watch this. You become as dysfunctional as they are when you respond to their inability to see their own dysfunction. No, I'm not responding to your dysfunction. You ate that stuff. You absorbed it, not me. We got to be mindful about this. We have to be mindful about this. This making sense? Nothing more tragic than a person who's dysfunctional and can't see their own dysfunction. Hey, y'all support the show. The supporters show tonight is low tonight. Keish, April, Tiff. I don't know what's going on. Y'all support the show. Is this making sense, or am I talking over overheads tonight? This is making sense. So this really is about behavior, and when we recognize that our response to people's dysfunction is really about behavior that many dysfunctional people have not been honest about or embraced. And we also recognize that this behavior oftentimes confuses us because it is laced in so much dysfunction. Then we come down to another level. I want you to put this in all capital letters. This is where I'm going to lose some of you. Being the bigger person is a spiritual principle. If all of these things I said tonight are true, and they are, then being the bigger person, when you really take a step back and evaluate this stuff, this high level stuff I'm talking, being the bigger person is a spiritual principle, and I'm going to prove it. Y'all, I got 5 areas of healing. What are they? Mental, emotional. This is especially important for you first time viewers. Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial. Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial. My 5 areas of healing. Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. I love that, Tiff. Financial, very good. She's got those with emotions or emoticons on there. That's very cool. Mental, emotional. Put this in your journal if you've never recorded this. Return viewers, you know it. Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial. Being the bigger person is a spiritual principle. You know why? Because when it comes to being the bigger person and looking beyond offensive behavior, it's not a behavior that makes sense. Being the bigger person is not a response that makes sense. It doesn't make sense not to slap someone who slaps you. This is about to get real tight. It doesn't make sense not to lie on someone who lied on you. It doesn't make sense to protect someone who left you unprotected. Thank you, Vonda. Appreciate that. The salad. We're low tonight. Y'all ain't supporting. This is good. Maybe y'all stuck. It doesn't make sense not to cheat on someone who cheated on you. Doesn't make sense. It does not make sense to be nice to someone who's being mean to you. Y'all, this principle of being the bigger person has to be spiritual, because mentally in your mind, the idea of being the bigger person to your mind mentally doesn't make sense. Emotionally, when it comes to your feelings, doesn't make sense. When people make you feel bad, you want to do what? Make them feel bad. So your mind is telling you to return the favor. Your feelings or your emotions are telling you you feel bad. They ought to feel bad too. So it doesn't check one and two. It has to be the middle one. Being the bigger person is spiritual for this one reason. You ready? It forces you to manage offense with maturity. Record it. Being the bigger person is spiritual because it forces you to manage offense with maturity. Akua's right. I talked about this in my 28-day self-concept challenge. Thank you, Akua. I've got a 28-day self-concept. It's the summertime. We're about to go into a new month. July is the perfect time to do it. But I talk about patience. I talk about kindness. Listen, being the bigger person, when you recognize that it's a spiritual concept, it forces you to handle things with maturity. And immaturity says, do to them what they did to me. Y'all, I had to tell a client, this was about 4 or 5 weeks ago. She said I could share the story because I'm going to be doing a video on it. I mean, it goes without saying, I don't share these overviews if my clients don't get permission. But unfortunately, I have to repeat that in an exhausting way every time I do a video. It's just so exhausting at this point. I had to tell a client a couple of weeks ago who she's been cheated on 5 or 6 times. And she said to me, Doc, it hurts because I have been with him since high school. And he's one of the, he's only the second person that she had been intimate with. And he's cheated 6 times. And the only way I'm going to feel better about this, watch, is if I make him feel the way he made me feel. And I said to her, frankly, so you mean to tell me you're about to increase your body count over someone who doesn't have the self awareness to recognize that they're wrong in the first place? You're about to let your walls be destroyed by randoms in response to someone who is completely unaware of their foolishness. That's what you're telling me? She started crying. Doc, you didn't have to be that direct. Yes, I did. I did have to be that direct because when you return people's immaturity with more immaturity, you become as immature as they are. You become as immature as they are. Yeah, I said that. Doc can be a little brutal on these calls. Ask my clients. That's what I do. Are y'all listening to me? This is important. We have to be mindful of the fact that being the bigger person and not doing it, whatever it is, back to them becomes a spiritual act. What is the spiritual element of healing for? Those of you that have been in the 5 areas of healing, you know, when I teach it, I'm going to be doing these talks soon, hopefully around the country, talking about these 5 areas of healing, how it impacts your life and helps you become the best version of you. I'm going to be doing this. It's going to be great. But you've heard me talk about this. You know that the spiritual aspect of the 5 areas of healing, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial. The spiritual element of the 5 areas of healing is for what? Matters you don't understand. Higher matters you don't understand. We need a spiritual foundation for higher matters we don't understand. So no, it don't make sense for you not to go have a hot girl, hot boy summer because they did it. It don't make sense for you not to be rude in return because they're rude. It doesn't make sense for you to be inconsiderate because they're always inconsiderate. It doesn't make sense for you to be mean because they're always mean. Or for you not to be mean because they're always mean. It doesn't make sense. The reality is that's what makes it a spiritual principle. And being the bigger person is a spiritual principle because it forces you to manage offense with maturity. And where there is no maturity, there is no spiritual foundation. And a lot of people, the missing link in their healing, that's why when they come to me, they get results in like one session. They're like, oh my God, doc, I've been in therapy for 15 years. We solved this in 60 minutes. Doesn't take long. What I've discovered is that with a lot of my clients, you know what's missing? Not their mental wellness, not their emotional stability and maturity, not their physical wellness, not their financial wellness, spirituality. What do you have about you that helps you deal with things that are greater than you? What do you have about you that helps you deal with things that are beyond your strength? Y'all, you know how much strength it takes for you not to go out here and tear the streets up when you've been connected to somebody who's been tearing the streets up behind your back? Do you know how much strength it takes for you not to go out here and get back at people when they got at you? You know how much strength that takes? It's a strength that's greater than your own understanding, which is why being the bigger person can't be mental because it doesn't make sense. It can't be emotional because when people do things, it'll drive your emotions nuts, trying to suppress how you really feel. It's got to be spiritual. And a lot of you in your healing journey, what's missing? Spirituality. You ain't got no spiritual foundation. So when things get really, 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 really bad, you lose it. And then you say, I acted out of character. Go back to what I just said. No, you didn't. You didn't act out of character. You acted in character because there was a seed planted in you that either you did not fully digest as waste that came out of you, or you absorbed it and it became a part of who you are. I need a salad. My stomach is growling. Is this making sense or not? Now, we're not going to turn this into a Bible study. We're not. I have atheists on the line. I have Muslims on the line. I see some of my Catholic friends and clients on the line. Good to see everybody. I love it. My clientele list is a big old United Nations. I love it. Catholics, atheists, agnostic, New Science, Mother Earth, they all on my list, and I love it. So I'm not going to turn this into a Bible study here. I welcome all of you. I've been called to heal the world, not just who people like. All right? But can I say this, y'all? You ready? Even this concept of being led by the Spirit is flawed when your mind and your emotions aren't healed. Let me walk y'all through this real quick. Can I just have 120 seconds? Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial. There's an order. Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial. Let this mind, not this spirit, let this mind, not this emotion, let this mind, not this spirit, let this mind be in you, which was also for you Christians in Christ Jesus, which means you can't understand spiritual principles until you've had mind transformation. So folks that are being led by the Spirit with no mind transformation are walking in the dark. I'm done. No more Bible study. Oh, it's oh, I'm being lit. I love it. I get, in spirit, a lot of people from a lot of religions, not just Christians, refer to spirit, right? So I'm not going to make this into that tonight. I'm not. I know I got on some of y'all's nerves last week. I know I did, but it's life. But so many people say they're being led by spirit or by the Spirit, but they've had no mind transformation. And if your mind has not been transformed, you're not being led by the Spirit. Because it is a transformed mind that teaches you what things, what behaviors, what actions are spiritual. Which is why many of you didn't know being the bigger person was a spiritual act, because your mind really hasn't been transformed. Which is why when people do stuff to you, you return the favor, because you have not transformed your mind. And if you haven't transformed your mind, you're not on a level to really even understand this tonight. Sit this one out. Mindset. And I love talking about mindset. Now, I like the question. So then how do we transform our mind? Oh my gosh. Yo, we're not supposed to be talking about that, but I'm going to get into it. Let's just deal with it. Y'all all right? Hey, cuz, love you. Y'all okay? Y'all mind if I talk a little bit about mind transformation? Because look, if we're going to embrace being the bigger person as a spiritual principle, but we recognize that it starts with being emotionally regulated and having a transformed mind, let's deal with this really quickly. My pleasure, Mother of Ink Nezi. I appreciate you. My pleasure. Thank you for the question. Let's talk a little bit about mind transformation. Mind transformation occurs when we are able to control our thinking. Mind transformation, record it. You're going to be the smartest person at the water cooler the rest of the summer. Mind transformation occurs when we are able to control our thinking. Research tells us we think on average 70 to 80 thoughts a day. Your goal in transforming your mind is to be able to regulate your thoughts. So when people say things to me like, my thoughts are all over the place, I can't control them, you don't have a transformed mind. Which means take the word transformed and let's look at that word in the Greek. Let's go there. Oh boy, this is going to be good. Let's look at the word transform in the Greek. Compose, rearrange. This is the word that I like. Structure. A transformed mind is a structured or organized mind. So when your mind is organized, thoughts don't take you captive. Your transformed mind takes thoughts under captivity. I don't want to turn this into a Bible study. This could get really bad. Are y'all listening to me? So when you say you have transformed your mind, you have structured and organized the things, the thoughts, the elements of your mind. So we have to have an organized mind in order to manage thoughts. How do we do it? Let's keep peeling the onion. We learn to organize our mind by learning to get comfortable with our thoughts. We learn to organize our mind, transform. I'm just substituting the word transform for organize. I'm in the original context of the word. By learning how to be comfortable with our thoughts. And let me tell you why people struggle with being comfortable with their thoughts. Let's peel the onion one more time. People are uncomfortable with their thoughts. Thus, they're uncomfortable organizing their thoughts, which they're then in turn are uncomfortable transforming their mind because people are uncomfortable being still long enough to listen to their thoughts, to monitor their thoughts. Because you cannot demolish thoughts that are designed to destroy you if you don't slow down long enough to evaluate them. And this is why many of you that struggle with mind transformation keep yourself busy. You keep yourself busy because in staying busy, it keeps you from sitting still with your mind. I just stop. Just let's just stop. This is for all of you that go through a breakup and then you work in 100 hours. You don't sit still. You've been to 5 countries in 2 weeks. You do all this stuff, and all you're doing. I like the word. Look at IG. They're talking about the word distraction. All you're doing is creating activities to distract your mind. So your thoughts aren't forced. to be structured and organized. They're given the permission to run rampant. When they do, your mind can never be controlled or your mind can never be transformed because your thoughts are not under control. Is this making sense or no? Does this make sense? Come on, type church in the comments with a lot of R's. Hey, TikTok, I need you to hit that like button. Come on, we should be at 100K right now. Go. This making sense? So mind transformation starts with putting some structure around our thoughts. How can we do it? Let's peel one more layer. I lied. I'm just peeling the onion, y'all. There are practical ways. Meditation, sitting still. What is meditation? Meditation means silent time with your thoughts. Prayer is conversation with God or whatever you believe in. Meditation is conversation with yourself, specifically with your thoughts. So when you meditate daily, you're sitting still with all of those thoughts that are going crazy. So for all of you that PTSD, that are overthinkers, ADHD, I have clients that fit all of those bills. I have clients that fit those bills that have been on medication that are now off those medications. You know what we work on? Sitting still and getting comfortable with our thoughts. Yes, it applies to overthinking. And people struggle with this because when you call yourself an overthinker and you've got all of these thoughts that are going crazy, it is more convenient for you to do something to try to get your thoughts to stop thoughting instead of sitting still, taking deep breaths, and examining each thought one at a time. Why is this important? Because you're going to need this if you want spiritual transformation, mind transformation. If you want to operate in a space where you can be the bigger person, your mind is going to have to be transformed, which means when somebody offends you and you have all of these thoughts, y'all see how this is beautifully connecting? When someone offends you and your thoughts start going crazy and you want to do this and that and this and this and that, and all these things come, your mind goes nuts. Your ability to regulate your thoughts is going to help you be able to regulate your emotions, which will heal you enough, center you enough to be able to embrace a spiritual principle called being the bigger person. Does this make sense? It requires work. Y'all put it in the chat. Levels. Come on. Levels. Levels. This is not easy work. It's not. So I tell people, if you really want to heal, don't come to me if you don't want to do no work, because it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. Topo Chico time. Unofficial sponsor. Thursday Night Life Design. Unofficial because they ain't called me back yet. Lord. This making sense? Nasty work. It's big time nasty work. Healing is nasty work. Y'all put that in the chat. Healing. I got a t-shirt coming out that says healing is nasty work. It is. Healing is nasty work because it's not easy. Healing is nasty work. The reason why it's nasty work, y'all, because it's really a spiritual principle. It's principle number 3 of the 5 areas of healing. Healing is nasty work. Tiffany, stop laughing. Does this make sense, y'all? Okay, support the show. Hey, TikTok, hold on, y'all. I'm going to stop the live until TikTok gets my likes up to 100K. Let's go. I'll play slow music. I'll play my talking music. Y'all like that? Come on, TikTok. Let's go. You're the only network that's got me shadow banned. Go. Come on. Double tap TikTok. Go. 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 That number ain't moving fast enough. Hurry. Hurry. Because I'm getting ready to drop a bomb on y'all. There you go. Good. Healing's nasty work. Forgiving people you want to slap. Nasty work. Not having a hot girl, hot boy summer because they had one. Nasty work. Sitting still and controlling your thoughts. Nasty work. Forgiving people who never apologized. Nasty work. Being quiet when you can shut everybody's life down. Nasty work. Come on, TikTok. We waiting on y'all. Hurry up. I can do this all night. Forgiving your mama that never asked for forgiveness. Nasty work. Forgiving your daddy who popped back in your life but never explained why he left. Nasty work. Healing is nasty work, y'all. Not easy. Because if it was, everybody would be healed, wouldn't they? I love my music. It just really puts me in a mood. Does it make sense? Appreciate that, my own muse. Appreciate you, brother. Yes, sir. Does this make sense? Nasty work, yeah. This is nasty work. It's not easy. Come on. Come on, TikTok. You almost there. We 30K away. Go. They said on IG, come on, TikTok. They waiting. Let's go. Doc, why are you doing all this with TikTok? Because they shadow banned me. I've lost like 1,200 followers in the last 4 weeks. They're just removing followers. I guess I got a long ways to go because now I'm down to 309,000 is what I'm down to. Nasty work. Healing is nasty work. Creating your own closure instead of waiting on an apology. Nasty work. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you. TikTok is a mess. If you're in America, I almost kind of want them to ban it. No, they're not bots. They're not bots. I've had people reach out to me to say that they were removed from my page and they literally thought I went through 300,000 followers and just pointed them out and removed them. I didn't. No, they're not bots. It's unfortunate. Unfortunate. I almost want them to ban it at this point. I don't even care. I love y'all, but you get my point. Nasty work. This is what makes it a spiritual principle. Charlene said, I'm here to help. Let's go. Double tap. Y'all, let me give you this because we almost there. Record it. A major sign of healing is being able to manage offense effectively. Record it. A major sign of healing is being able to manage offense effectively. What does it look like to effectively manage offense? We're about to talk about it when we get these 12,000 more likes. Let's go. This is a challenge for a lot of people. You know why? Because we stopped teaching kids how to manage offense. A major sign of healing is learning how to manage offense. And I know people, how healed people are, not by how much they talk healing. I know how healed people are when they get offended. Your response to offense is a big time sign of just how healed you are, or you are not. And the reality is, a lot of people are struggling in their healing because they don't manage offense well. They just don't. Come on, TikTok. 5,000 left. Let's go. Woo, woo, woo. Yes, sir. Appreciate that, my own muse. Yeah, man. Get your therapist, man. Counselor, coach. Yeah, it's a spiritual guide. You want to be complete in those three areas, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It's critical. Because I'm gonna tell you, now, man, I don't know what kind of God y'all got. I'm gonna just be honest about the one I got. I love the Lord. I'm just telling the truth. But if it was not for my mental and emotional regulation, I don't know if I would have the strength to have a spiritual foundation to be able to take the high road sometimes. Sometimes Doc want to cuss you out too. Give it up for TikTok, everybody. I'm being honest. Sometimes Doc want to cuss you out too. Sometimes. Doc want to just get on, and instead of giving y'all an analogy, I want to cut the camera on and just cuss everybody out. Now, y'all not honest enough to admit that. Sometimes I want to get, oh, we got there, TikTok. I want to get in the comment section when people say crazy stuff about positive videos, and I want to just tussle in the comments with everybody else. But I can't. You know why? Because a major sign of being healed is being able to handle offense. Now, I want to say this. Just because you can handle offense, this is what I want to give you. Yeah, I'm not showing up as live on TikTok for a lot of people. I'm sorry about that, Agape girl. I'm definitely shadow banned, and I apologize for that. Let me say this to you. Y'all ready? Just because you manage offense effectively does not mean you don't have a right to be offended. Y'all need to write. Are y'all writing this down? Just because you are healing, just because you're healing, just because you're healing and learning how to manage your offense does not mean you don't have a right to be offended. You know what blows me? What blows me so bad is when people try to weaponize your journey. Yeah, she just said it, just trying to push it to another video. Yeah, TikTok doesn't like me for whatever reason. Nothing drives me nuts more than when people try to weaponize your work and your journey. Oh, you've been therapy. You go, why are you responding like that? I thought you were healed. I thought da. Just because you are healing or healed does not mean you don't have a right to be offended. You have a right to be offended. But please understand, emotional healing supports emotional maturity. Emotional healing supports emotional maturity. And that's where the disconnect, that's where we split ways with people that don't have it, who might be offended, but they don't have the maturity to manage the offense. When you're healed or healing, you have the ability to manage your emotions through offense. Yeah, they've banned me bad. I'm sorry, Teresa. It's just wild. Y'all support the show. That would help. Y'all do that. Will y'all support the show? Is this making sense? So then, Doc, how do we do this in a healed way? Well, let me tell you this. I'm going to answer that question by telling you, and this is the last thing that I'm going to mention, and I'm done. I'm going to tell you what being the bigger person does not mean. Let me give you three things. I'm just going to give you three and I'm done. Let me give you three explanations of what being the bigger person does not mean. And this is going to help us understand how we deal with being the bigger person in a healthy way. Because some of you are thinking you're being the bigger person, but you're not being very healthy while you're doing it. And when you hear these three things, it's going to make sense. There's more, but these are the threes I want to deal with. The three I want to deal with, and then I'm done. Let me tell you what being the bigger person doesn't mean. Let me give you three things that being the bigger person does not mean. Somebody said on TikTok, she got a poll. Kanita Hawk says she got a poll, gives me a poll to ask if I'm enjoying the video. And then when I hit very much, I get kicked out. Wrong answer. They want you to say not at all. TikTok is wild. Poor TikTok. Thank you, Mariah, for the support. There are three things being the bigger person doesn't mean. You ready? Number one, being the bigger person does not mean being a doormat. Somebody about to get helped. Being the bigger person does not mean being a doormat. This for all of you people that say, Doc, I'm just a nice person. You know, I just do everything I can to help everybody I can because that's what I've been called to be. Y'all, some of y'all even put the Lord in it. The Lord called me to just be a help to everybody I can. And that's just what I do. Being the bigger person has nothing to do with being a doormat. I'll tell you what does have a lot to do with being a doormat. You want to know some first cousins to being a doormat? People pleasing. Not prioritizing yourself. They like first cousins of doormatting. Doc, I'm just trying to help as many people as I can. No, you're being a doormat. And you don't have the right priorities. And you're putting a seatbelt on someone without putting it first on yourself. People pleasing does not look like being a doormat. And watch this. You're going to know you are a doormat when you get off the floor and the people that walked on you are now offended. Let me say this again. You're going to know you are a doormat in somebody's life when you get off the floor and the very people that were walking on you are now offended that you're no longer on the floor. That was salad worthy. That my stomach's growling right now. You're going to know you are a doormat in some situations when you get off the floor and the people that used to walk on you are now offended that they can't walk on you anymore. You changed. You acting different. What's up with you? Blah, 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 blah. I didn't change. I just got off the floor. Do me a favor, put that in all caps. I didn't change. I'm just off the floor. Come on. Come on. I ain't changed. I just got off the floor. Yeah, that's salad worthy. I mean, the salad should be flying in. I didn't change. Just got off the floor. And that's where many of you are. Y'all, being the bigger person doesn't mean being a doormat. Like people pleasing or prioritizing. Y'all, being humble and being a doormat, not the same. Some of y'all try to put humility on. Well, I gotta be humble. Thank you, Ava, for the support. I gotta be humble. Because some of y'all got real offended when I told y'all earlier that you better than other people. Some of y'all really hate that. Doc, that's not humble. Isn't that arrogant? Doc, no, it's honest. When I do work you don't do, it makes me different. When you do work that other people don't do, it makes you different. And the reality of the matter is being humble and being a doormat is not the same. Being sweet and being a doormat, not the same. Being nice and a doormat, not the same. It's not. This for all of you people that are nervous about people's response to you if you ever make the decision to get off the floor, not to return the favor, but to get off the floor so you can stop people pleasing and have better boundaries. The only people that will be offended by your change for the better are the people who are no longer benefiting from your dysfunction. Don't you ever forget it. I tell my clients this all the time. The only people that will be offended by your change for the better are the people who benefited from your dysfunction. The only people upset about your change for the better are the people who benefited from your dysfunction. And some of you don't even realize how, when you started making life changes, you started getting a lot of enemies. There's your answer. The reason why you started getting a lot of enemies, oh, yeah, that was good. The reason why many of you have been making a lot of life changes, the reason why many of you have been making a lot of life changes that have yielded into you having more enemies is because the very people that got upset were the people that are no longer benefiting from your dysfunction. And when people can no longer benefit from your dysfunction, then there has to be a problem with you, and they will create a problem with you. So being the bigger person doesn't look like being a doormat. Number one, I'm almost done. Number two, being the bigger person does not look like forgetting what they did. Uh-oh. Being the bigger person does not look like forgetting what they did. Oh, you spiritual people not gonna like this right here. Being the bigger person does not look like forgetting what they did. You know why? Because as much as we want to try to make it, this forgetting, forgiveness, and forgetting are not the same. As much as we want to try to make it the same, forgiving and forgetting, not the same. Now, if you don't believe me, I'm going to take that a step further. Forgetting, as we understand the word forgetting, is not even a biblical principle. Here we go, about to get in trouble. I try to stay out of Bible study. Forgetting is not a biblical principle. Now, before y'all try to hit me with Philippians chapter 3, verse 13, make sure this week you understand the original context of the word forgiveness. Or, I'm sorry, the original context of the word forgetting. Forgetting is not a biblical principle. Forgiveness is. That word in Philippians 3 and 13. Hey, agnostics, atheists, Catholics, Buddhists, I need 90 more seconds. Okay? That word forgiveness or forgetting in Philippians 3 comes from a Greek word that means, watch, something is accomplished and no longer an issue. Wait. Something is accomplished and no longer an issue. Wait. Something is accomplished and no longer an issue. So when Paul says, forgetting those things behind me, he's saying, he's referring to those things in your life that have run their course. Yes, they do. Catholics do read. Yeah, I'm just being funny, right? I teach for everybody. He's talking about something that has been accomplished, no longer an issue, has run its course. So when he says forget those things behind you, he's saying there's no need to deal with those because those things are over with and they've run their course. Why would you dab in something that's run its course, including offense? So when somebody's offended you, why would you dabble in it if it's already done, over and done with? Watch. But something being over and done with doesn't mean you have amnesia over it. Because forgetting, as we understand the Latin word, we equate forgiveness or forgetting to words like amnesia, no longer etched in our memory. The Greek form of that word deals with things that have run their course. When something has run its course, it's no need to revisit it. But that doesn't mean acting like it didn't happen. That's for all of you that think forgiving and forgetting are the same. They're not. This makes sense? This makes sense? What's up, Coach Sean? This makes sense? So Miss Gates says on Facebook, And so he pressed towards the mark. There's nothing else to do. If you're not going to deal with something that's ran its course, then you're going to do what he does says in the B clause. So then I press towards the mark, towards the prize, the high calling. Why? Because there ain't no need of going backwards. That stuff, it's run its course. That doesn't mean I'm ignorant to it happening. That's not what forgetting means in that verse. Which leads me to number 3. And I'm done. This makes sense, y'all. This is for all you people that say, yeah, girl, yeah, man, forgive them and forget. You ain't got no business even remembering it. The fact that it's in your mind, what's wrong with you? Because you're human. And sometimes remembering what people did, even if you've healed from it, serves as a good foundational reminder for you not to go back to what you did. Some of y'all need to remember how people hurt you so you don't go back and let them do it again. Some of you need to remember how people disrespected you so that you don't put yourself in a position for them to disrespect you again. It don't mean you ain't forgive them, but it just means it's still etched in my memory, just in case I have a moment on Valentine's Day and I ain't got a date and I decide to call you because I ain't got nothing else to do. Then I need the memory of what I did the last time I called you to be right here. Sometimes we need to remember just so that we don't repeat stupidity. Y'all, I'm just going to be honest with y'all. My memory has played a huge role in me not being repetitively stupid. Can anybody say church to that with a bunch of R's? My memory has literally played a role in me not being repetitively stupid. Mm-mm. I'm thankful for my memory. My memory has kept me out of a lot of repeated trouble. And if you will allow it, your memory will keep you from being repetitively stupid. This is making sense? One more point and I'm done. Right? We're talking about what healthy forgetting or what healthy being the bigger person looks like in a healthy way by telling you 3 things that it doesn't look like. Yeah, repetitive stupidity is nasty work. repetitive repetitive stupidity is nasty work. It's just nasty work. Like it don't get nastier than you remembering what they did and you still did it anyway. Or you forgetting what they did and you repeat it. And then once you get in it, be like, wait a minute, ain't I been here before? Wait a minute, that's right. They did this to me last time. How did I get here? Because you forgot about it. Forgiveness is a spiritual principle, not forgetting. You will never read Philippians 3 the same. You don't believe me? Look up the etymology on the word forget. Look at the etymology of the word forget and let me know what you see. So I'm saying to y'all, you got to live. You have to live. Watch. Not like things haven't happened. Stop letting people say, I don't tell my clients, live like these things never happened to you because that's not healthy and it's not right. And it actually purports more trauma. That's called suppression. It is not wise to give clients or people in general advice to say, live your life like this trauma in your past never happened. That's called suppressing trauma. No, you live with the full knowledge and acknowledgement that it happened, but you forget it, not in the context of loss of memory, but in the context of creating closure because it's behind you. And when you do, it's easier to be the bigger person in a healthy way. Why? Because you can be mentally, emotionally, and spiritually mature, but still have a memory to remember what they did so you don't repeat it again. This is why I see the question on Facebook, spinning the block. It's a no for me. I'm with you. I did a video. I haven't been able to do it. I'm just being honest. I haven't. I haven't. I haven't because spinning the block feels so much like opening up chapters that have already been processed. Opening chapters that have ran their course. I'm sorry. I'm not saying it can't work for some people. It can absolutely work. That's just a growth area where Doc gotta be because Doc ain't there. And I'm healed. And I forgive. I have no problem with forgiving. No, I forgive. I'm great at forgiving. Lord knows I am great at forgiving. But I ain't master forgetting because I don't have to. Some of y'all are going to be able to process that later. I'm great at forgiving, but I ain't master forgetting because I really don't have to. Not in the context of the way y'all, not in the context of the way y'all understand forgetting, as in memory loss. No, I don't have to do that. No, I ain't mastered forgetting though. Not in that context, but I've mastered another kind of forgetting where I've been able to identify things and say, you know what, that's run its course. Maybe that's run its course. Okay. Which leads me to the third thing, and I'm done. I know y'all glad. Being being the bigger person does not mean number one, being a doormat. Number two, forgetting what they did. And we just kind of hinted on it. Number three, being the bigger person does not mean reconciliation. Being the bigger block. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it, brother. I need to respond to you, some of your clips. Clips. I plan to do some of that this weekend in my downtime when my kids are sleeping. That tea sip was not intentional, y'all. That wasn't shade. Just natural. I needed some tea. Y'all, being the bigger person does not also mean reconciliation. I can forgive you and not reconcile. I can be the bigger person and not come back to you and give you the chance for you to do it again. And some of us have been taught, hey, be the bigger person. Go back to the person that hurt you. Go back to the situation that disrespected you. Ignore the disrespect people gave you. Blah, 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 blah. Some of us have been taught that and we do it. And we think it is noble. And it's not. Ain't nothing noble about that. In fact, it is probably one of the most unhealthy things you can do. Y'all want Bible. You Christians, you want Bible. Watch somebody take that clip. Doc must not be a Christian no more. Y'all kill me taking clips. Just listen to the whole thing in context. Y'all know I got folks everywhere. Hey, you Christians want Bible? Stand therefore in the liberty, freedom, wherewith Christ has made you free. Watch. Here's the part I like. and be not entangled again in the same thing that had you yoked in bondage. And yet we tell people, go reconcile the foolishness, completely ignoring the fact that if you get pulled out of something, it's best for you to get out and stay out. Y'all do me a favor, type that in all caps. Get out and stay out. Come on. I need to see 200 people type, get out and stay out. Thank you, Princess Noble. I appreciate you so much. Get out, stay out. Get out, stay out. You know why? Because the only time you go back in is if you're walking into an environment where there has been complete change and transformation. Doc's not saying reconciliation is not possible for all of you sound clip people, sound bite people that take a bite and run with it. Go look at my TikTok. Go look at my IG. Go look at my Facebook. 100 couples reconciled in 25 months. I love helping people put their relationships back together, put their marriages back together. I love it. I'm in the reconciliation business. When you're dealing with two healthy people that want to do the work. And when you're not, get out, stay out. Y'all don't have to like that. I don't care. Get out and stay out. Get out and stay out. Y'all, I had somebody Galatians digital concept. I had somebody say to me, um, um, I had somebody say to me, was it? Or was a recent panel that I did in Virginia? Was another panel. When was that panel? I think it was about a year ago. And I had somebody say to me, well, then, Doc, hey, you're empowering people to put themselves first and reprioritize themselves, to save themselves, to get out of bad situations so that they can properly heal and look at things from a clear standpoint. But what about what Jesus said about being faithful unto death? And I'll give you a crown of life. I said, sir, did you read the whole verse? The appropriate translation of that verse is, be faithful unto me, even if it means death. Wait. Because in Revelation, which is where that verse is, he's dealing with the days of tribulation. He's not talking about foolishness. So when you are faithful to foolishness, you might die. I'm going to say that slow. I felt so bad for him because he was just like, wow. No, it's called context. When you're faithful to foolishness, death might be the outcome. This is for all of you that think reconciliation is more important than self-awareness. It's not. Self-awareness is more important than reconciliation because self-awareness comes before reconciliation, not the other way around. We don't reconcile without self-awareness. Self-awareness has to lead reconciliation. Which means I can't even decide if we're going to do this again until both of us get to a place called honesty about who we are, where we are, what we're doing. And a lot of people are dying in the name of faithfulness unto foolishness. It ain't got nothing to do with God, it ain't got nothing to do with your vows. And this is coming from someone who lives to reconcile people. You think them 100 couples just walked into that? They work for it. Kiki said, would you be willing to do a Bible study one day? Sure. Sure, I'd do that for you guys. And invite everybody there. All my atheist friends, everybody. Just everybody. I have friends that are atheists, Buddhists, whatever. Seriously. And this is because we have not taught people these spiritual concepts in context. That verse translated, be faithful to me, even if your life is lost in the process. And then during tribulation period, where your faith is being tested, your faith, what you believe in, is being tested. I'm going to give you a crown of life. It ain't got nothing to do with you staying in relationships and marriages where you're getting beat every day and abused. Stop. Where you're being physically and emotionally and spiritually abused, sexually abused. And you talking about faithfulness unto death? No, that's faithfulness unto foolishness. Stop. Yo, you gotta have context. Thank you, Latea. Appreciate that. You gotta have context. Y'all, this is what being the bigger person looks like. Doesn't look like being foolish. Doesn't look like just accepting anything. But it looks like being clear-minded mentally, managing your thoughts. We talked about this. Recap. Managing your thoughts, stabilizing your emotions so you can embrace a spiritual principle in a healthy way. Managing your thoughts, stabilizing your emotions. Come on, Tiffany, I need you to capture this on YouTube. You're great with summarizing these notes. Managing your thoughts so you can stabilize your emotions and embrace a spiritual principle. That's what being the bigger person looks like. Managing your thoughts so you can stabilize your emotions and embrace a spiritual principle. Yes, I'm going to leave this live up. I missed the debate too tonight, and I've recorded it, so I'll cut it on when I get off. Manage your thoughts so you can stabilize your emotions. Thanks, Tiff. And embrace a spiritual principle. That's what being the person looks like. Can't even deal with the spiritual thing until we can get our thoughts and our emotions together. Y'all, was this helpful? Listen. I want you to support the show. The ways to support are on the screen. Put moderators. I'm going to ask the moderators to put it up. The ways to support are on the screen. I would really appreciate your support. I don't think I'm going to be live next Thursday because I'll be traveling. July is a rest month for me. I am working about 5 days in July. That's about it. I'm doing the group works in July. So if you haven't signed up for how to discover your purpose, which is on July the 13th, I believe, and executing your purpose without a blueprint, which is or without a playbook, which is on July 27th. I'm doing those. So even though I'll be traveling, I'm still going to do those sessions. But I'm going to rest in July. I've worked hard this last year. It's been a great year. I don't have any complaints. Great year, but I've worked. And so that's going to come up. I need you to sign up for those if you haven't already. I've got plenty of seats left. I recognize June, July, August are holiday months. And so a lot of people are busy, but I am 5 days of rest 5 days of work in July. The rest of the month is going to be rest for me. But I'm going to be talking about how to find your purpose July the 13th. and executing your vision without a playbook. This is where all of you are trying to figure out what your purpose is in life. I got my start in career counseling. So I love talking to people about how to figure out what they've been called to do and be. It's really at the core of who I am, which is why you hear so much of that bleeding into my work. You can sign up on my website. Go to my website. You can see the link in my profile bios. Go to my website and sign up there. And I would love to work with you on those 2 days. And then, y'all, my books should open up. Where are the dates? Let me give you all these because this is the breaking news. People are going to wish they were on this live tonight to get this firsthand. My books, hold on, let me get to my calendar. For those of you that, and this will be the last time my books open up for the year. I'll have packages available. I'll have a few individual sessions or a few single sessions for individual, a few single sessions for couples. I'm going to have packages available. Let me give you those exact dates so that everybody knows when it opens. My books will open up for subscribers on July the 11th. So if you are a subscriber on IG, Patreon, my books will open up for you on July the 11th. Okay. So you might want to think about subscribing. Great content there. Um, um, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm multitasking. Give me 1 second. Somehow I erased this and I had to go back to my calendar. So I'm typing it in my notes because I didn't have it there. My books will open up for subscribers on July the 11th. And they will open up for the general public on July the 18th. Okay, so I'm giving my subscribers an entire week to be prepared. So if you're a subscriber on IG, on Patreon, those networks, my books will be open for you on July the 11th. If you're not subscribed on those things, which you don't have to subscribe to get on my books, but I just felt like that was the best way, the fairest way to handle this. I hope you all understand that when people have invested into your work regularly, I felt like that is was the best way to do it. And so I wanted to just be very fair about that. Okay. So July the 11th for subscribers, general public, July the 18th. I might slide that July 11th date. I may play with those dates and change that to July like the 10th. Something like that is what I'm thinking. Because I don't have it in my notes and something feels off about those dates. I might change those dates from like July the 10th for subscribers and then July 16th for the public. That's probably what I'm going to do. All right. All right. So July the 10th, subscribers, July the 16th, general public. All right. My books will be open then. And you'll have opportunities. I don't know. I doubt the whole year fills up in that week, but 3 months filled up really fast the last time I did this. So hopefully those of you that will want to work, I would love to work with you and see you then. Okay. Any questions, anybody for me at all? No, I'm not doing questions tonight. I can't do questions. I gotta go. I gotta pack. Okay. Any questions at all? All right, I gotta roll. Let me go pack. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for everything that you do. And yeah, I'm looking forward to won't be live next Thursday. I'll be packed up. Yes, I need to go pack now. Won't be live next Thursday, so I may do another live Monday, a general live Monday for everybody, and then I won't be live again. I think for like 2 or 3 weeks. So we'll figure it out. Anyway, y'all get some rest. Appreciate you. Peace and blessings. Have a good night. Talk soon. Bye now. I feel like I'm rambling. See y'all. Take care. Bye. Appreciate y'all. See you. Bye now.